What were the dumbest lies you believed when you were a kid?
I was 7 years old. One of my teachers wanted us to write a letter to a family member or friend or someone. I wrote the letter, got the envelope, got the stamp. My mom had worked at the county jail at the time and she suggested I write one of the inmates who never got mail. So I did. I wrote something along the lines of, "I'm sorry you're arrested but I hope you get out." I even signed it with my 7-year-old signature. While I was writing the letter my mom had left to get to the store. I asked my older brother what our address was because I needed to put a return address. He said, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Washington, District of Columbia, 20500. For those that don't know, that's the address to the White House. I wrote it on the letter and put it with the mail my mom was sending out. Mind you, I grew up in Michigan and never left the state, but I wasn't smart. Years later I went to pick my mom up from work and one of the COs called me Mr. President and I asked why he said that. He mentioned the letter I wrote years prior and how it was a joke in the jail any time my mom mentioned me.
My parents convinced us that the person knocking on our door on weekend nights when we were asleep was our Uncle Shiloh stopping to say hello. We don't have an Uncle Shiloh. It was the pizza guy.
When I was a kid my dad told me it cost 25 cents to change the radio station to keep me from effing with the radio in his car. I believed that until I was 14.
Don't give strange ideas to some radio or TV broadcaster.
I was told by my dad, when I was around 8 to 9, that the people at the sewerage plant have been examining your poop and need you to eat more fiber. Edit. Wrong age.
My grandmother told me that pinching gave cancer. I got pinched once at recess and yelled at the person because I thought they were going to give me cancer.
My mother told me basically everything she did not want me to have caused cancer. Salt, cancer. Maraschino cherries, cancer. Anything with any sort of food coloring in it, cancer. Soda, cancer. Spending too much time on TV, computer, video games, cancer. Now pinching fell under things she didn't physically want me doing. Those didn't give you cancer, they gave you blood clots.
Eating too much sugar will glue my ass cheeks together. Thanks, Mom.
One time when I was 5 to 6 I asked my brother how French fries were made and he told me, they inject mashed potatoes into the skins of the fries with a syringe. I believed that until I saw my mom cooking home fries for breakfast one morning when I was 8.
The button on your armrest on airplanes is the eject button. I found out it reclines your seat embarrassingly late.
When I was a kid my dad always told me not to touch it because it was an emergency button. One time when I was like 5 we were flying to visit family and he fell asleep so I pressed it a bunch because I was curious. Nothing happened and I fell asleep thinking it must be broken. I woke up in a stroller with my parents upset because the plane had to make an emergency landing and I started crying because I thought it was my fault.
My mom rented a never-ending story and Dad told me if I tried to watch it I'd have to sit there forever because it never ended. I remember being thankful for my dad's warning and wondering why Mom would do that to me.
My older brother pranked me once. I had watched a kids' TV show. I think it was The Electric Company that featured a guest star who was a tap dancer. My brother convinced me that tap dancers made their tapping sounds, not with their feet, but with their mouths. I spent the next several weeks trying to tap dance with my mouth noises before my mom made me quit.
I'm surprised she lasted that long tbh.
That the draining sound of the water in the bathtub was a monster that would suck you in as well. A lie made to get me out of the bath.
I stuck my finger down the plug hole thinking the swirling vortex it made would spin me around like some miniature tornado. Yeah, the firemen who cut me out of the bath didn't laugh either.
When I was 6 my parents told me that when you flush from an airplane toilet, the waste gets dumped mid-air into the ocean. I believed that and told all my friends. Parents then told me they were joking and I became the class fool.
That guacamole was ground up guacamoles. Dad's a great lol.
Customers will ask me what the difference is between pork sausage and Italian sausage. I tell them one is made with pork, and the other with Italians. I said this to one customer and his kid went wide-eyed with horror. It was hilarious.
That the hazard button in a car would blow the car up.
Holy poo, I'm not the only one. It's such a scary symbol for a kid, only to find out it just makes the lights blink lol.
When I was a kid, I asked my dad if reading enough books really could give you telekinesis. Matilda. He said yes. I spent many years after that thinking I just wasn't doing enough. Open mouth smile.
A good way to get your kids to read, I guess.
I was in on this lie between my mom and younger sister. My sister was about 5 years old at the time, and my mom convinced her that Benadryl was truth serum. My mom would threaten to give it to my sister if she knew she was lying. It was so hilarious, but my sister seriously believed it and would get upset.
I was told, your ears turn red when you lie. Hard to get away with stuff when you look like the hear no evil monkey.
I believed that girls pooped and peed out of their butthole. When I was 16, I asked my older sister, when you go pee, how do you keep the turds from sliding right out at the same time?
16.
If you swallowed the black watermelon seeds, a watermelon would grow in your belly.
Yeah, that Rugrats episode didn't help much with not believing that lie either.
That if you die in your dream, you die in real life.
Do you know how Barbie feet are on tippy toes so they are shaped to fit into a high heel shoe? Well, when I was a kid, I thought that when girls grew up into women that their feet would be shaped like that. Despite the fact that I lived in a house with 4 grown women, none of whom had Barbie feet. Walt Disney invented color. Watching a black and white show, I thought everyone from the 50s and lower had lived in black and white. I asked my father, who invented color? Dad looked at me dead serious and said, Walt Disney. I believed it far too long.
I used to work as a reenactor at an 1800s village museum. I would go greet the kids at the school bus in my full outfit and give them some context, including holding up black and white photos of the times, before we went into the buildings. One time in a particularly young group, a little girl raised her hand and asked, when we go inside, will it be in color or is it still black and white in there? I loved this little insight into how a child's mind works.
As a kid, I had a strangulated hernia, which left me with one testicle. My dad told me if I ever had kids they would be all boys or all girls cause each testicle is for each sex. Believed it for years.
I'm wondering if your dad actually believes that.
My mom told me my birthmark was a coffee stain from when she accidentally spilled coffee on me as a baby. I believed it till I was like 11.
My sister told me that if you count all the stones of Stonehenge you will die. I still don't know how many stones there are in Stonehenge. Edit. I just called and told this to my sister, and she just laughed for about 2 minutes.
I'll count them for you. There are.
My granddad would tell me that the buttons, switches to turn on the interior lights in his car were actually buttons for ejector seats. I would be scared to go anywhere near them in case I accidentally yeeted myself out of his Ford Focus. He was a funny dude.
I once thought academic scholarships were only given to dumb students so that some of them could still attend college. I even told my older brother that he was so stupid, he had to get scholarships to go to college. He went to the Ivy League.
Man, I'm worried for whoever told you that.
That our entire house was covered by cork-sized security cameras and that my parents could see my every move.
My kid has convinced herself of the same thing and always randomly asks, what am I doing right now? From across the house. That women's periods stop in water to avoid sharks smelling it.
LMFAO what?
This isn't a lie, but when I was a kid I had no idea how turn signals worked and just thought the cars always knew exactly where we were going.
I didn't realize they turned off automatically when the steering wheel is turned back straight. I just thought all adults had to be really coordinated to disengage them while executing the turn. This made me really nervous about learning to drive. One time I was at my dad's, parents separated, and him and a friend were hanging outside sipping beers and smoking cigarettes while I was decapitating dandelions with my sweet-ass plastic ninja sword. My dad never let me have soda when I was a kid. His friend left and my dad went inside to do dishes. I saw a 7-Up can on the deck table and sprinted towards and took a huge swig. Turns out they had been asking and putting their cig butts in there. I run inside and throw up and my dad goes, what happened? I lied and said nothing, but he figured it out. So, he told me all the soda he buys tastes like that even if they are unopened. I believed him for a few years till I was like 9.
Greater than sipping bears. Damn dude. That's so metal.
My dad told me he was color blind to the extreme when I was 8. The sky is green, the grass is blue. Go was red, stop was green. The ultimate, white people look black and black people look white. My mom made him fix that last statement quick when I asked her, "Mommy, do I look black to you too?" She was livid, but I was so gullible at that age, lol.
When I was a little fellow, my parents used to told me when you smoke you'll die instantaneously. Unfortunately, they forgot this at a campfire organized by our former neighborhood and smoked a cig. I remember I was desperately trying to stop them and cried all the time, because I thought they're both about to die.
See, you just misunderstood. You will die instantly, not them.
That you could get a ticket for having the light on in your car while driving.
My parents never told me it was illegal, just that the lights made it more difficult for them to see where they're going. I had a sick magnifying glass with lights on it for my Game Boy though, so I didn't give a damn.
I could not understand how all the death scenes in war movies seemed so realistic. So, I asked one of my older brothers how they did it. He proceeded to tell me that they empty out state prisons in the area the movie is being made, dress them up and give them guns and tell them that if they survive the filming then they get to leave jail after. I was told that at around 7 and I believed it till I was around 10.
Lol. When I asked, my dad just told me that they were paid. He meant that they were just actors and it wasn't real. My 4-year-old self just thought that they were stupid since no one would have to pay them once they were dead anyway.
Lost my stuffed animal, a white dog, in the airport in Miami when I was 5. It was my favorite and I was really sad about it. A few weeks later my mom presented me with a brown dog that otherwise looked exactly like the white one I'd lost. She said the workers at the airport had found it and mailed it to us, but he got a tan because he was in Florida. Bought it hook, line and sinker for a few years. Tan dog is now my son's and he's a big fan, smiley face.
Our neighbor's son has autism, and he had a stuffed alligator that was pink and yellow. He carried it with him everywhere, for years. It would get torn, and they'd repair it. Eventually, the fabric was so thin it just fell apart. They hid it from him, and told him that Gator had grown up and gone to live with the other gators. He was so inconsolable, they eventually found a slightly larger alligator that was green, and gave it to him. They told him that Gator had been living in the sewers with his friends, and it turned him green. He finally outgrew the second gator a couple of years later.
That if you sit too close to the TV or computer screen you'll go blind. I was told that during the summer of 5th grade, then got glasses in 6th grade. All I heard was a "told you," as I tried on my first pair of glasses and was told that my sister, 1 year younger, won't need glasses. Say she listened. She got her glasses less than a year later.
They told this to my brother. Well, the reason he sat so close to the TV was because he needed glasses. Once they were put on he didn't sit so close, until he lost them.
ATM gives free money.
I wanted to get a credit card so I didn't have to pay for things.
If you twist your belly button your butt will fall off.
That swallowed gum stays in your body for 7 years. I swallowed gum and thought that was the reason I was fat. Well, my grandpa and I went to forest when I was around 12 years old and one of my cousin came with us too. He was 16 that time and told me that a creature lives in the woods which has male and female genital organs. When it is night time it gets out and f's whatever living thing he grabs. OFC, I didn't believe my cousin. I am not that dumb, but when my grandpa seconds him I cried like a little baby to go home. Rip grandpa, you crazy old F.
My grandpa had a glass eye, and would pull it out and put it on the table to keep an eye on us, haha. I miss that man.
100% believed that if I left a pile of rocks under this tree outside our house, a fairy would come visit me. My parents told me that so I would go play outside. Edit. Stop saying it so my parents could smash. They divorced when I was a kid, like 3 years old, but both parents told me that so I believed there were multiple fairies. I wasn't old enough to be left outside alone safely. Another edit. Y'all, my parents did smash, that's how I happened to exist. They did not live together or were seeing other people at the time they started telling me this. Thank you for ruining the post, smiley face.
That adults know what they're doing.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.